Okay, well, this video is about money. Money is controls our whole lives, every aspect of it. But money is not what you think it is. Money is just this made up rudimentary number that just exists in thin air and it's not real. And my statement for a long time has been that money isn't real. It's just made up numbers used by rich people to control us. There's more than enough money on this planet for all of us. There's more than enough resources on Earth for everyone to live comfortable lives getting everything they want. But that's not the way humans designed it. There's so much resources and abundance in this on this earth, even with humans exploiting it for ever since humans started. But humans don't want you to think that way. Humans want you to think about the common argument that, everything, oh, what about services and value? And you have to, the commodities and trade, and it all balances out and it all works out. Well, it's all a system that was created for one purpose in the mind: control, power. And that is the true nature of our world. Now, let's look at the top 10 most richest people on earth. Elon, 400 billion. A gamer dude who likes Mars became the richest person on earth. You got Zuck, who's 241 billion. You got Bezos, 228 billion. Larry Ellison from Oracle, 213 billion. Bill Gates, 157 billion. But you have other people who have more, like other untapped riches, like, Saudi princes, they could be trillion, who we don't know. They have no official books. Vladimir Putin basically is a dictator. Xi Jinping has insurmountable wealth. You can't even calculate his personal wealth. So this is just the Americanized, what we get on the internet, people who have personal recordable wealth. And that's the people. But it goes way beyond that. So Elon Musk, let's just take Elon. Elon's a great dude and does a lot for the world. So it's not really fair that he has to, get rid of all of his money because of, everybody else's. But even if you took a fraction of his money, you could set incalculable amounts of people for life. Just think about $10 billion, dispersing that evenly in groups. How many people's lives could you change with that amount of money? It's just insane. It's just truly insane. And you could work it all out to a balance sheet of how much everybody needs. No more debt in the world. No more children going hungry. It's insane. And this isn't even counting countries that just make amazing profits. Now, people do, or they pretend to do, philanthropy. Let's be good people. All these guys giving up this amount of money, like, it's like, you got to realize that these people do this for one reason alone. They would do it because they want to help the world. They're not going to give up all that they own, but they have so much money that they feel bad about it. They've enabled some cheat code for life, and they've made money off being dumbass streamers who, Gen Z kids look up to, even though they're shitty human beings. And they, this is what they do. And they essentially have this thing where they feel bad about the fact that they have so much more money than everyone else, so they like to give it away to Africa. But this doesn't even begin to cover the costs of what some of these people need. But you have people like this with so much money. Bill Gates gave, like, what is it, $50 billion to Africa or something? So, like, these guys are giving away peanuts compared to what Bill Gates is giving away. They just do it because they feel bad about the inequalities in the world. People like Mr. Beast and people like these guys are just selfish human beings that just decided that they're gonna score some karma points and just they give away a little, like, pocket change to us. It's not going to do anything for the world, but there is money to go around. Look at how much money these people have. Just think about that. Now, the way the money system in the world works is very, very, very concentrated for a reason, for control. If everybody had millions of dollars, nothing would work. The system would just break apart because nobody would want to do anything. Nobody wants to, like, how many people want to go to work at a sewage treatment plant? It's like, how many people want to go work in fucking hot ass construction work on a side road? But we've existed in a world that had to kind of have a little bit of challenges along the way. Nowadays, I've said this many times with AI and robotics, is that like we're coming to a point where less and less and less people need to work, and our monetary system is not going to do that. So let's just ask AI. Could a world without money work? A world without money is a complex concept with both potential benefits and significant challenges. While a society without monetary system could theoretically function by relying on other forms of exchange like bartering or even a system of communal access to voluntary contributions, it would require a fundamental shift in human behavior and social structures. And that is the biggest problem, is that people get off on the fact that they have more money than other people. They love it. They love being richer than other people. You think people like Aiden Ross want to have a world where everybody has $400,000 to piss away to some random charity that probably isn't going to do fuck all? Yeah, and I mean, look at that. So I mean, you have all these benefits. Oh my God, a world without money could potentially reduce vast disparities in wealth. Oh, you mean so that people won't be allowed to have insane amounts more money than other people who barely work for it? I mean, look at an OnlyFans girl. Did she work super hard for that? you know, did she get more money than a guy who fixes cars for a living his whole life in like an afternoon just because she splayed herself? That's the type of stuff we're talking about. There is massive inequality in this world, and a lot of people who are insanely rich, no matter how much people would want to believe this or not, didn't work very hard for it at all. Maybe they punched a few numbers and it was like, do you think that any of these fuckers worked hard for this money? No. This is more money than like a nurse is gonna make. Nurse would never have enough money to throw piss $100,000 away to some random charity just because they feel bad about being rich. So, yeah, I mean, that is the true manner of this, is that people get off on the power of money. Focus on human resource could be allocated based on needs rather than profit, potentially leading to a society where basic necessities are more readily available for anyone. Wouldn't that be great, huh? If everybody just had what they needed, that would be so great. Increased focus on contribution. Without the need to earn money, individuals might be more motivated to contribute to society based on their passions and skills. Yeah. Wouldn't it be great to not have to go to work because you needed money, but to go to work because you wanted to do something good for society? And you wouldn't have to worry about getting fired, getting laid off, going broke, not earning enough to pay your bills, not, like, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't people be so much more motivated to get up in the work for a morning if they had a quota of things that they needed to do rather than someone barking orders at them? Everybody could be their own boss. A system without competitive pressures of monetary economy could foster greater cooperation and social cohesion. Oh my God! What a crazy statement, huh? Do you know how many people die every year on Earth over money? Crazy. I would wager to say that almost all majority of violence in the world is created over money, over someone having more money, or someone not giving money, or someone not, being better off than someone else, or not paying them, or like it just goes on and on and on. Money is a plague on human society. It is bad for us. It is undeniably caused so much problems in the social structures, and people would get along better if you didn't have to fight with your fucking significant other over money 24/7. Imagine how much imagine how better that would be. So yeah, there's stuff like that. But potential challenges. Now, all these goofs online will always. There are people. It's amazing. It's like for all the betterments of everyone's life over, adopting a society free of money. There are people who just hate this concept. They hate it so much, potentially because they're well off and they like being better than other people. And you can always tell the types of people that these are. These are people who really like that they can show off their nice toys. And they really like that they make, 400 grand a year, and they like that they can be better than other members of their family and society, and they would never in a million years want a world where that is taken away from them. Uh, Transition away from monetary, so they hate it, and there's probably going to be comments of people whining and bitching about, you can't have a world without money, it will never work, what are you going to trade and barter, blah, 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 blah. And they hate it. And they hate it because they don't understand the concept of what can be possible when we just do away with money. It's just made up numbers, imaginary made up numbers that just exist in some ether that isn't even real. It isn't even has no physical. Yeah, you have things like gold and that, but that is a physical object, and money and paper money. Those are physical objects that people have tied value to. These imaginary numbers to. They don't actually have. You can't eat a bar of gold. That's gonna be fucking hard, isn't it? It's like you can't do anything with a piece of gold besides flash it around and have it look good. And yeah, you can use it for computer components. It has value for that. And yeah, does a piece of corn, have a $2 value or whatever? Like, can you do anything with a piece of corn besides eat it, or a steak besides eat it? Is there any, can you walk into a Shoppers Drug Mart and pay for some prescription pills with a slab of steak? No, you can't. So it's like we humans have assigned so much value to things that don't inherently have any value besides the purpose they were trying to or create in the first place. So let's go through these. So transition away from monetary system is like economic and social structures, particularly in chaos and instability. Potentially, a world without money is likely a necessity to return to bartering, which can be inefficient and challenging on a large scale. Well, it really depends on how much you give away. Determining how fairly distribute resources in the monetary system would be a complex task with many potential pitfalls. Some argue that the profit, yeah. So I mean, there's this huge group of humans that they don't give a fuck about helping the world. Like if you just gave them, I mean, there already is that. Look at government assistance. There already is this huge portion of the population who just doesn't want to help, doesn't want to contribute. They'll take whatever the government will give them, and they will just sit around and do like that. Already is a thing. Like it's not going to make these people more motivated to help the world. It's not going to make them any less motivated to help. These are people who there's this huge portion of the population that just like live off government assistance. They're not going to work. They don't want to help their neighbors mow their lawn. Like they're just like that. And you're not going to change that by having this monetary system and or getting rid of it. it won't change these people. Like there are certain people who get up in the morning and like they want to help other people, and they want to go into work and heal someone's leg, as a doctor, or they want to help out their neighbors, fix their trampoline or something. Like you can't change. Money doesn't make these people do this. This is human nature. A lot of people are motivated by money, a lot, and if they don't have that benefit of money, they may be less inclined to do some of these things, but it doesn't change the core values of people, I don't think. And some people, of course, there are people who wouldn't do fuck all if it didn't mean that they can flosh their new SUV in front of everyone's faces. So, human nature is often argued that human nature is inherently self interested. In a world without money, might be difficult to sustain without significant changes in human behavior. And that's the true matter. That's the saddest part of it. It's the saddest part. The saddest thing is that we're selfish. We can't help it. You can't help it. Look at these idiots. Do you think that they really care about the people that they're giving all this money to? Do you think it warms what's his fucking name? Young Thug's heart to see some kid in Nicaragua get a meal? Do you think he goes out of his do you think he made all his money to help some fucking guy in that? Or what about Aiden Ross? Do you think he's like feels better about himself? He's like, yay! I helped people today. No, they're just doing this for clicks. They're just doing that for likes. They're just trying to be they're just trying to fucking cover up all the bad shit they get up behind the scenes, the whatever sketchy shit they do on a day-to-day basis. This makes them feel better about themselves. And that's the core interests of human nature. This is why Mr. Beast does this. Is that he doesn't care about these people. Look at the way he looked. Do you think he actually is like, oh my god, I can't wait to help this? He made all his money off of doing this, off of pretending to be this great human being when in reality he's just a selfish kid who got rich. That's who he is. He's not that. But like the wealth distribution is insane in the world, and approximately 26% of the world population lacks safe drinking water. Do you think they've saved that? It'll still be 26% after them. 2 billion people. Uh, Additionally, 46% of the population lack access to safe, managed sanitation. So that's crazy, man. It's like there are so many people. You could have these streamers donating every single day, every single moment of their lives, donating as much money as they possibly could, and they wouldn't even put a fucking dent in this, man. What you need great societal changes. Oops, you need people like this to, just what does honestly what does Jeff Bezos need $228 billion for? He could live off $8 billion and live the richest, most successive, most greatest life ever. This is just money sitting in some imaginary space. That's all it is. It's like he's never gonna use 200. He's gonna be like, oh crap, I've used up 200 $200 billion. I guess I only have 228 billion left. Like no, like this is all, and there's so much of that money. Just think of all the investors, all the crypto millionaires, all the people in the world. Let's see, what's percent of the world is that? Only 1% of the world are millionaires. But do you know how many people there are? That's insane. That is insane. And when you think about how many people there are on Earth, that's a ton. But you know how much of that 1.1% is just sitting in a bank account? It will never be used. Do you know how much of, let's see, the billionaires? Look at that. Holy shit. It's like basically no one on Earth. There are 2,700 billionaires of just untold masses of human beings. But do you know how much money, do you know how much of these imaginary numbers are just sitting somewhere, just in an imaginary void, and it will never be bought, it will never be touched. And this is perhaps why Bill Gates has done some of the stuff he's done. He's just given it away because you'll never need $50 billion. If you had $10 billion, just take a billion, have the rest of it you'll never need, besides this being this checkbook in number. Uh, let's look at the wealth distribution. This is stupidity. This group possesses the. This is just like you don't even want to know this. Like you just don't even want to know how insane this is. A small percentage of the world population controls a disproportionate wealth of the mass majority, and there's all kinds of charts and that. But the truth of the matter is, like, the smallest, teeniest fraction of humanity controls it all. They just have it all, and it doesn't make any sense. But that's just the way humans are. They like it to be a they like life to be a challenge. It's almost like humans created our existence around it being hard. Now, go live in the Peruvian jungle, try and hunt for food and trying to, but we're not in that realm anymore. Everybody could live a happy, safe life, but just think of all the crime and just think of all the depression over money. We're living in this time where everybody could, a vast majority of humans could have what they need and want, and we'd still have tons left over. But that's just the weird nature of humans. We're very deeply selfish creatures. We want our own. We want to be powerful, more powerful than other people. It's our own behavior that causes so much suffering in the world. Now, let's see this. The 1% group possesses a significant portion of the world. 50%. It'd be like, okay, so if you had a group of 100 people, one person had half of what everyone else has. What? That's ridiculous. I bet you it's even worse though. Top 10%. So that means 90% of people have basically nothing. Yeah. Bottom 50%. This was less than 2%. Middle 40%. So it just goes on and on and on. And yeah, you have countries like India, yeah, you have countries like Pakistan, but you go to the US, let's just go to the US, quintessentially one of the most, and it's like the same thing. It's like the same fucking thing. The gap between the wealthiest and the poorest American has widened over time, but wealth becomes increasingly concentrated at the top. Yes. It's because humans are greedy, and they've created a universe for ourselves where, you know, look amongst the infinite of the cosmos. Nobody owns space. Our money, our richest people, our most biggest amount in numbers, $50 billion, it means nothing to the sun. It means, like, our solar system is this tiny little speck of dust in the infinite cosmos. It's nothing. And we could build such a better world if we just didn't have this number that just controls our life, and it just creates tension and hostilities between people, and it makes people like this selfish, and makes them act very bizarre. It's like people's selfish nature is extremely bizarre, and it just, oh yeah, so here we go, capitalism. And that's the capitalism way, is it just like, fuck everyone else, I'm gonna get rich. Like 50 Cent said, get rich or die trying. I mean, that is essentially, to a T, the way our world was designed. This was originally the blah, look at that. Oh my god, that's insane. 20 trillion in wealth. Imagine 30 million of those. You can't even visualize it. You can't even imagine it. Bottom 50%. it just is, it's just insane. You would, if you were to take an alien species that has never had to deal with money, who has never whose society is this perfect utopia where everybody just makes life tolerable and perfect for one another. And if you were to take this alien species, that the concept of trade and barter and money, monetary value never happened for them. They believed in the betterment of their species over the betterment of an individual. This individualism was kind of foreign to them, and you showed them the US wealth gap, they would think we're fucking insane. They would think that they would be like, you know what? These apes have completely and utterly, like, they're just they're rotten. It's like they would say that. They would say that these people, like, there's something deeply wrong with this civilization that puts so much value on something that isn't even real. Is like money is not real. It's just made up numbers. It's just these imaginary percentages and points on a computer screen and data and like wherever it is and the value we placed on something. It's like insane. It's like, look at this controller here. This controller exists in the physical space, the physical realm, and the only reason it's cost 34.99, 29, 19.99 or whatever, if I was to buy this new on Amazon or whatever, the only thing that makes it that imaginary number is because some person decided that's what it was worth. It has, other than that, it's just a piece of plastic and circuit and, and that and maybe some rubber. Like, it's just this concentration of elements that we just decided was worth something. And that is the true insanity of the human species, is that we are not fair to one another. We are not this righteous species that's creating this perfect utopia for society. We just literally, like, want to control each other. We just want power. We want to, you know, we want to dominate one another, and that's the reason money exists in the first place. Is that we just are. We just are like this. This is our nature. I don't think it will change. I don't think it can change. And you know who you are. If you're one of those people who is, just deeply against the idea of a moneyless society, they just hate the idea of that being stripped from them. So it probably will never happen unless something like an asteroid strikes and people go back to trading de- bottle caps. You know what I mean? So, and it totally could happen. I mean, AI is saying both benefits and challenges. So, I mean, AI is saying, like, hey guys, it could work, but you're going to have problems. So, anybody who says, no, there's no way it'll never happen, in conclusion, while a world without money is possible, it will require a fundamental shift in human behavior and social structures. It is a complex idea with potential benefits and challenges, and its success would depend on the specific mechanisms that put in place to replace the monetary system and the willingness of people to adapt to a new way of living. A world without money, not only possible, but would be very good for everyone and would benefit us all. But we'll never get that way because human beings are too selfish, we're too hungry for power, and ultimately humans are just not capable of creating a better world. We're only capable of, power and restriction. So yeah, that's my video. I've always said this and I'll always stand by that. Money isn't real. It's just made up numbers created by rich people to control us. And that is the true nature of humans. It's just control, and money isn't real. That money in your bank account doesn't exist. It's an unsettling thought for some people, especially people who are greedy, but it's true, man. It's fucking true. Peace.